In the heart of ancient Mecca, status was everything. Lineage, wealth, and social ties defined a person. Ummu Jamil was born at the very top of this world. Her father was from the powerful Banu Umayyah, and her brother led one of the strongest clans. Her marriage to Abu Lahab, one of the richest and most influential men in Quraysh, only added to her position. She moved through life with confidence. Every step was marked by luxury and pride. She had influence among the women of Quraysh, and she was known for her sharp mind and sharper tongue. Nothing threatened her, or so she believed. But hidden in the quiet streets of Mecca, a storm was beginning to stir, and her name would soon be tied to it forever. At first, the rumors were just that, whispers in the wind. A man from the Banu Hashim, known for his honesty, had begun speaking of something new. He was no poet, no warrior, yet he gathered people like no other. His message was simple but radical. There is only one God. The idols must be abandoned. The rich and the poor stand equal. To Ummu Jamil, this wasn't just strange, it was dangerous. It challenged everything her life was built upon: status, tradition, and control. She watched as her husband grew angrier, as the nobles argued and panicked. But for her, panic turned into fury. The idea that people would turn away from their gods, from their customs, from her family's power, it lit a fire inside her. What began as social unrest quickly turned personal for Ummu Jamil. Her gatherings, once filled with laughter and admiration, turned into planning sessions of insult and sabotage. She used her presence, her voice, and her position to strike at the growing movement. But soon she took her opposition further. In the dark before dawn, she would carry bundles of thorns through Mecca's paths and scatter them where the prophet was known to walk. She wasn't just an enemy in speech, she became one in action. Her bitterness fed her cruelty. Her pride blinded her to any reason. Every day she found new ways to humiliate the believers. Children, women, even slaves who followed the message were mocked and slandered. She thought she was defending her gods. In truth, she was protecting her pride. The people began to talk, not just in the streets, but behind closed doors. They noticed her obsession, her constant efforts to undermine the new faith. Then, one day, something shifted. She heard that she and her husband had been mentioned directly in the very message she despised. It wasn't a speech, it wasn't a rumor, it was revelation. Her actions, her thorns, her hatred, her words had been captured and immortalized. Her name was now linked not to beauty or nobility, but to destruction and fire. She was shaken, not because of belief, but because of exposure. Her secret hatred had become public scripture. She was no longer just a powerful woman, she was a symbol. Anger surged through her. She felt humiliated, insulted, dishonored in a way no noble woman could accept. Her rage pushed her to act. She stormed toward the place where the prophet often sat with his companions, with something heavy in her hand and vengeance in her chest. But something strange happened that day. Despite her determination, she never reached her target. Though he sat openly, peacefully in her path, she didn't see him. Her eyes passed over him as if he weren't there at all. Those around her were confused. She was confused. Her anger had clouded more than her vision. It had sealed her heart. She had lost the ability to see what was right in front of her, not just physically, but spiritually. With time, things began to change around her. The new faith was growing. More and more people, even those once close to her, began to turn their hearts in a different direction. The streets whispered less about her cruelty and more about the mercy of the man she hated. Her voice, once powerful and commanding, began to fade. Her insults lost their sharpness. Her presence no longer inspired fear, but discomfort. What was once a dominant figure in Meccan society had become a bitter shadow of the past. She watched as the people she mocked found purpose, while her own influence slipped quietly into silence. The world was shifting, and she could not stop it. Her husband, Abu Lahab, met a tragic and humiliating end. Stricken with illness and abandoned even by his clan, he died in disgrace. No one wanted to come near him. He was once one of the strongest voices in Quraysh, now rotting in isolation. She too retreated from the public eye. Her home, once filled with guests and gossip, became a place of quiet bitterness. The same people who once praised her now avoided her. Her name, once carried with respect, had become a cautionary tale. She had spent years trying to bury a message. In the end, the message buried her legacy. Years passed. Her story lived on, not through monuments or praise, but as part of a divine revelation recited by millions across generations. She had become more than a person. She was a warning. What she carried in life wasn't just thorny branches or cruel words. It was hatred, pride, and denial. These became the firewood she dragged behind her every day. And that firewood became her legacy. She was a woman born into power, given every chance to witness truth, but chose bitterness instead. And long after her voice went silent, the burden she carried still speaks. Not just about her, but about the weight we all choose to carry in this life.